happening today? Let's get into the currency moves. Nick Twidale from ATFX joining me. I mean, markets have been cheering this ruling, the dollar rallying. You said the yen, though, going ballistic here.
Yeah, dollar yen has really got a big move on, and interesting enough, dollar yen's been leading dollar moves for the last week or so when we've been quite range bound in most of the majors. Dollar yen, I think, it's topped out around about 146.30 so far. There's a bit of resistance coming in around 147, but it's clearly good news, or the global markets are taking this as good news, and I think we're going to be glued to news screens for the rest of the day to see what kind of response we get from President Trump. I know we have heard from the White House, and they've come back sort of relying on those emergency powers that he put in place. But overall, I think for risk trades, it's good news.
Yeah, all right. Well, there's the yen chart. What is it showing us?
There we go. So yeah, that's actually not too far off. That was a couple of hours ago. But we topped out around about 146. That resistance level comes in around 147 or just above 147. I think that will probably do us on the day. But overall, I think we're going to be looking to sell haven. So we're going to sell yen, we're going to sell Swiss, and probably gold as well. Gold's had a good move to the downside. And it's kind of back to buy dollars, wear diamonds.
Yeah, all right.
However short term that may be. Yeah,
always. Diamonds are always good. All right, what about our dollar, the Aussie dollar, because that hit a 6-month high earlier in the week?
Yeah, that did. So that topped out just above that 65. There was an earlier high on the year around 65.15. It got up to 65.37, I think, and we're back down a big figure low. Now, the Aussie's actually held up relatively well in this environment, despite the dollar going higher against euro and dollar and the yen and Swiss. And that's probably because you've got this kind of confusion with Aussie dollar traders at the moment. Good news for the global economy generally tends to be good news for the Aussie, but also at the moment, the way the market's reacted, it tends to be dollar positive as well. So we've actually held in really nicely, and probably the way to pay the Aussie at the moment is to buy the Aussie on the crosses. So we've already seen a good move this morning on that. So keep an eye on the Aussie. I think there's some downside coming probably later in the day once London comes in. But it's holding in there nicely, and it's probably going to be a buy on dips on the crosses for the while this good news lasts.
Absolutely. All right. Well, speaking of when London comes online, what are we seeing with cable?
Cable's also seen a bit of dollar buying come through, and once again, cable's been accelerating to the top side. There's the chart. These are daily charts as well, so they're very much a longer term aspect. And even though we've seen good buying from the trend that we've seen from earlier in 2025, we're still very much in an uptrend for cable. So I think we'll get buyers on dips. It will be a dollar story today, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating what is happening. Just when you think things are calm, something else happens from the White House.
It's excited us all, hasn't it?
It is exciting. I should just say that we have had a White House spokesperson say that US trade deficits with other countries constitute, quote, a national emergency that has decimated American communities, left their workers behind, and weakened their defense industrial base. Facts that the court did not dispute. So this is going to keep going, isn't it? Let's get back to currencies and how that works. Yeah. The euro as well, very much in focus, Nick.
Yeah, of course. So we have seen a dip in the euro today as dollar buyings come in. And of course, we saw that massive move to the top side in all the currencies, but euro led the way. Don't forget, we still got that 500 billion euro infrastructure deal from Germany to continue to factor in, which led to that big jump off. Now we're still at the top of the range, similar to cable, but support will come in, and it feels like a fair value given what's going on is probably going to be closer to the 110 level in the next few sessions or days, as long as this tariff block stays in place.
Yeah, and what about friends to the north, the Canadian dollar?
I put the loonie in as well. From a technical perspective, it's bounced really nicely off a very long-term trend line, which will be popping up any second. There we go. As you can see, that's a really good long-term trend line to the top side. That's coincided with the dollar strength. Now, in everything else, we've been talking about dollar weakness, but with the loonie, that big move to the top side that you see, that record high up there at the end of, I think it's Q1, isn't it? That came when we had the initial tariff announcement against Mexico and Canada. So everything's tariffs again, isn't it? But I think for the loonie, we're probably going to see more dollar strength. Keep an eye on what's going on. They've still got, when you look at the fundamentals in Canada, things are still not looking particularly great over there. Unemployment's running really high, and they've still got and inflation's coming down. So looking at the Bank of Canada, they've probably got some work to do there as well. But great times to be trading. We're actually seeing some moves. As you said, the last week it's been very quiet.
Yeah, they'll let you get back to your desk, Nick. A lot happening. Nick Twidale there from ATFX.